Okay, we will still have 20 more minutes, so we're going to talk about crypto more. So last class we talked about some modern symmetric encryption algorithms, including DES, triple DES, and AES. We also covered different mode of operations to use a block cipher and use block cipher to construct a stream cipher. So the advantage of symmetric key crypto is it is secure, proved by Shannon, and it's hard to break, which means they offer good confidentiality, and they are very, very fast. Basically, they are just combinations of many rounds of substitution and transposition. So it's not really computationally heavy, so it's very fast. And modern hardware manufacturers like Intel, ARM, they make it even faster by implement all these encryption algorithms at the hardware layer. So if you're using Intel CPU or ARM CPU, you will find instructions like AES encrypt or AES decrypt. So you don't need to implement AES in software again, you just need to issue this instruction. And in our lab, actually, we are testing this new Intel technology called Quick Assist technology. It offers many crypto algorithms, including symmetric algorithms and asymmetric algorithms. So one disadvantage of symmetric key crypto is somehow you need to securely share the key between the sender and the receiver. Even though this key is much shorter than the perfectly secure crypto, like one-time pad, still you need to share it. For AES, it could be 128 bits, that's 16 bytes, and it could also be 256 bits, 32 bytes, even though they are small, but you need a secure channel, somehow securely share that between receiver and sender. Otherwise, the receiver cannot decrypt that, and the sender cannot encrypt the message. So before 1970s, the way to do that is somehow, magically, we have another secure channel, for example, offline channel. So if A wants to send a long message encrypted to B, A will first maybe physically deliver a key, 32-bit key, to B. And that physical delivery is kind of like a secure channel. Another way to do this is we have a trusted third party, and this trusted third party already maintains, yes?
Sorry, can you say, does it mean like somebody walking there with it?
Yes, maybe give you a USB drive, and the key is there, not over the network. So basically another channel. So another way is there is a trusted third party, and this trusted third party already have a secure communication channel with A and B, and whenever A and B wants to communicate directly, this trusted third party will share the same key to A and B. However, those two approaches, they are not very practical for internet, because internet, it's very possible that two strangers, they want to talk, and they do not have a secure channel established, and they do not have a trusted third party. So there is a way to solve this question. This is called the Diffie-Hellman key agreement protocol. It is also called the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol. But if after we look at how it works, you will realize maybe key agreement is a better word for it, because they're not really exchanging the key, they're more like they are negotiating the key. So the Diffie-Hellman key agreement protocol proposed in 1976 was the first practical method for establishing a shared key over an unsecured communication channel. The point is to agree on a key that two parties can use for a symmetric encryption in such a way that an eavesdropper cannot obtain the key. So they published this paper in 1976. So if you pay attention to the transaction's name, it's called IEEE Transactions on Information Theory. So information theory is the discipline Shannon created in the first place to prove that one-time pad is perfectly secure. Obviously, that's not the only purpose. So the paper was titled New Directions in Cryptography. So before that, we only have a symmetric key crypto, and we don't have a good way to share symmetric crypto keys. And in this paper, Diffie and Hellman the first suggested public key crypto, or asymmetric key crypto. We're going to talk about this next week. But they failed to invent an algorithm to do public key crypto. The first public key crypto algorithm was designed 2 years later by 3 MIT students, I guess, that time. They were still students. So that algorithm is called RSA. So RSA is still widely used, and DH is also widely used. So, but in this paper, they presented the Diffie-Hellman key agreement protocol. So this is how they look in 1970s, and this is the picture from today, I guess. So both of them, they received the Turing Award of 2015. So actually, this was announced several months ago, back in March 2016. So because of this work, they suggested public key crypto, and they designed the Diffie-Hellman protocol. What? I'm not sure. You are talking about what is his name? The art of the programming language guy. He invented Latin. Yes, Goose. Yeah. So he received the Turing Award maybe 10 years ago. They just got it this year. So after 40 years later, they got their Turing Award. So why do we have to study this Diffie-Hellman algorithm? Because later we are going to talk about the IPsec, we are going to talk about SSL and the PKI. All of them use DH algorithm to exchange keys for later symmetric key encryption. So how does it work? Actually, it's very simple to understand, even though it's very hard to design something like this, but it's easy to understand. Two hosts, Alice and Bob, they first agree on a prime number P and another number G, and those P and G can be public, because at this moment, they don't have a secure channel. So those two numbers have to be public. And then Alice will choose a secret number A. Alice will not share the secret number to anyone. Then Alice will send Bob G, which is the base, the public base, to the eighth power modulo P. And Bob will do the same thing. He will choose a secret number B and send Alice G to the bth power modulo P. And this part is what Bob gets from Alice, and this number is what Alice gets from Bob. Then after Alice received the message from Bob, it will do this operation again, the message to the eighth power, and then modulo P, and Bob does the same thing. So you see that Alice only knows the message from Bob and knows the secret number Alice chooses. Bob knows the message from Alice and the secret number Bob chooses. So any attacker, they know those two numbers, but they don't know A and B. So then these two numbers, they are actually, those two equations, they are actually equivalent. And Bob and Alice will use this number as the key. So let's see a more concrete example. Alice and Bob agree on P equals 23, which is a prime, and G number 5. So Alice chooses A 6 and send 5 to the 6th power modulo 23 and get number 8. Then Bob chooses 15 and compute 5 to the 15th power modulo 23, which is 19. So Alice will send number 8 to Bob. Bob will send 19 to Alice. So this can be seen by the attackers.
I heard a pretty good analogy for this. It's not exactly the same, but it's like Alice puts a lock on a box, Bob. Bob puts his lock on the box and gives it to Alice. Alice unlocks her lock and gives it to Bob. So now Bob has access.
Yeah, I think that analogy is correct. Yeah. Okay. So then Alice compute 19 to the 6th power because Alice knows this secret 6 and the modulo 23 and get the number 2. Bob does the same thing, get number 2. So number 2 is the shared secret here. But obviously this example is not secure because all those numbers are very small. So we can do a brute force attack. So in reality, we're going to use much larger values. Imagine if we are sharing an AES key and the AES key, if it's supposed to be 256 bits, so the number we're choosing here should be very big, and eventually the key should be 256 bits long. So even though the eavesdropper in this case, it can see all the messages, it cannot get a key. And the fundamental reason of this is there is a mathematical problem hard to solve. So far, no one could be able to find a fast algorithm to solve this problem. And this problem is called the discrete logarithm problem. Basically, what the problem says is given this number and given this equation, this is what an attacker gets. And the attacker knows A. In this case, A is the message Alice sent to Bob, or the message Bob sent to Alex. And knows this part, which is which we can compute by using the public numbers. It is hard.
I had a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
On the last slide, so if I was listening and I got 23 and 5, that's okay? Like, I still can't figure it out? Okay.
You get 23 and 5. You also get 8
19.
and 19.
Okay.
But you cannot figure out the key. The reason you cannot figure out the key is first, you cannot figure out 6 and 15. The problem here is with this equation, even though you know A, B, P, it's very difficult to compute X. So this is a mathematical problem. I don't really understand that. So what you need to understand in this part is this DH algorithm is the first algorithm that enable us to negotiate a shared key between two entities that over an insecure communication channel. That's a key. And with that shared key, we can use it for symmetric key encryption algorithms. So that is what we are going to study in IPsec, TSL later. Okay, so no class next Monday due to Labor Day. And when we come back, we will talk about hash, map, and hopefully
I had a quick question. So what is the actual key in that Diffie Hellman? What is the key?